I'm Fletcher Rhoden, and this is Quotes and Quips. Today, words of wisdom from Dr. Seuss. Well, Quotes and Quips is brought to you by my website, FletcherRhoden.com. That's where you can find links to my author's page at Amazon. That's where you can buy my books in paperback or for Kindle or in audiobook format. There's also a link at my website to my Spotify artist page. That's where you can download my records in all their various subgenres. In 2024, I had a 4-album set called Quadrilogy. And in 2025, I've got a brand new album called I'm Possible. So check that out. At my website, there is exclusive music you can only download there, and lots of other fun stuff. So, check it all out, and let's get to it. Today, Dr. Seuss tells us this. A person is a person, no matter how small. A person is a person, no matter how small. Well, first of all, let me say I'm not a fan of Dr. Seuss. I find his work to be terrifying. I think it's not appropriate for children, really. I find it ugly. I find the artistry, the art, the drawings, the renderings, the characters to be monstrous and frightening. I think there's a lot of horror at the core of Dr. Seuss's work. For example, Green Eggs and Ham is about a person who is hijacked, carjacked, let's say, and taken through a nightmare journey of tunnels and caves and horrific foods that are mal-colored, alien, and perhaps poisonous. This man, he doesn't like green eggs and ham. And yet, he's having this green eggs and ham ideology jammed down his throat at every turn. He can't get any peace. All he can do finally is acquiesce, comply, his spirit broken. Now, what about the Cat in the Hat? The most diabolical of Dr. Seuss's creations. Here's the story of two children who are left alone at home, neglected by latchkey parents. A latchkey mother, I think. In comes a 6-foot-tall home invader with two henchmen who kidnap the children, basically. Flush their pet goldfish down a toilet. Destroy every possession in the house. Overthrow the parental authority in the house. And then escape without any consequence. This is entertainment for kids? Okay, so just so you know, I'm not a Dr. Seuss fan. I do love How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but only in its Chuck Jones 22-minute animated television special from the 70s. Nothing after that includes the Grinch has any appeal to me at all. I don't want to see a man in a suit. I don't want to see CGI. I don't want to see anything like that. Just me. But let's get to, and also a few things about Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you'll go. That's like a bestseller because people traditionally give it out as a graduation present. But no one ever reads. It's like, oh, okay, thanks, Grandma. Get it? Because you're not a kid anymore. Yeah, I get it. Thank you, Grandma. You know how much money Dr. Seuss' estate makes just from that one book? Just from the irony of it? Irony has never generated more income. Okay. So I'm not a Seuss fan, but this is from Horton Hears a Who, which is one of his better things. And it's about an elephant who becomes the protector of this little community of who's, and he hears one of them, and a dandelion, I'm pretty sure, and he stands to protect this community of inconsequential beings. Now, Dr. Seuss is a 20th century writer, so he's necessarily affected by the events of the Holocaust and of World War II. There's not a writer in the 20th century who wasn't. Even Peter Benchley. A lot of people would say Peter Benchley's Jaws is actually a World War II allegory. Could be. Who knows? Anyway, so Seuss has this story of Horton, the elephant, who protects the Who's, and it echoes of the Holocaust. It echoes of America swooping in to save the Jews, save the Jewish community, create Israel, give them a homeland. That's what Horton Hears a Who is kind of about, I think. If you disagree, put that in the comments. I'm happy to read your comments. Like and subscribe too. Anyway, so I like that. And in the context of this story, the theme, I should say, is this. The premise of the story is this. A person is a person, no matter how small. Okay? So when you dig through all the Dr. Seuss stuff, unpleasant as most of it is, you finally get to this nugget. A person is a person, no matter how small. Now, when I was a kid, I wasn't the tallest kid around. Short, not, in an unnatural way, or I don't want to say unnatural, but not in an unusual way. Just short, And as an adult, I'm short. I'm 5'6½". So I'm not, unusually short, but I'm short. And so when I was a kid, I was always pretty aware of how short I was. And so it resonated with me. A person is a person, no matter how small. So as a small little kid who was picked on and bullied and made to feel small, it's not only that I was physically small, but that I was made to feel small by people around me. Bullies at school, my older brothers, my stepfather. A lot of people tried to make me feel small when I was a kid. And I liked the phrase, a person is a person no matter how small. Now, of course, what I think Dr. Seuss was talking about was the Jewish community. That they're still people, no matter how little you think of them. A person is a person. And this is where I've spoken on the show about the phrase, in the particular, lay the universal. Well, here we have that. It's a particular story about an elephant and a community that lives in a dandelion. And probably that's not you. The odds are that you're neither an elephant nor a who. Those are the odds. But we're all made to feel small at times. And we all need to feel protected at times. And we all, like Horton, need to stand up for others at times. Horton is a character who has no real goal. He has no direction until he finds the Who's, and he hears the Who, and he now has purpose to defend the Who's. He finds purpose in the story. It's his story, not the Who's. It's the story of the disinterested, independent figure who takes a stand for what's right. And what's right is that a person is a person, no matter how small. So what we learn is not so much, we do learn that a person is a person no matter how small, but what we really learn is that we have to remember that. And we have to stand up for those people. Horton doesn't simply say, Oh, a person is a person, no matter how small. See ya. Good luck down there. He is the change. He becomes the change that he wants to see in the world. In the beginning, he doesn't really want to see any change in the world. He doesn't really look at the world. But in the end, he sees that a change is necessary in the world, and he sees that he must become that change. To reference another quote from this show. So they all kind of work together. A person is a person, no matter how small. Now, let's take it out of the context of the 20th century and into the 21st. It's easy to see where I'm going with this. LGBTQ. Still the Jews, thanks. Black and brown and yellow people. Red, green, yellow, brown, blue. A person is a person. And they're not naturally small or unnaturally small. It's about how other people make them feel small. People feel of themselves that they're people. It's other people that make them feel small. You're only small compared to something else that's big. Small is a relative term. Wally Cox wrote in one of his books, he's one of my heroes, he wrote, I like to climb mountains because standing on the top of a mountain, nobody is that small. And he also was a smaller guy, and he had something of a Napoleonic complex, they would say. But he was right. When you're standing on the top of a mountain, you're not small at all. But also because you're alone. Because no one is telling you you're small. Because you climbed a mountain. So you're not small. Nobody can stand over you when you climbed on the mountain. Then you're standing over them. Then you're not small at all. Nobody is small. It's other people who make you feel small. But in the case of Horton, he makes the Whos feel not small, but like people. Because people are people, no matter how small. And that's the wisdom we get from Dr. Seuss. Brings a tear to my eye. Also that the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. So that's something. Anyway, tune in for more quotes and quips. I'm here every other Monday throughout 2025. On alternating Mondays, you can see my new show, Fletcher Rhoden's Pet Peeves. You can see reruns of the 2024 run of Quotes and Quips right here on this YouTube channel, and the 2023 show, Tracking the Lone Wolf, on its own channel here on YouTube, Tracking the Lone Wolf. You can buy that book, you can buy my other books, check out my music, and tune in again. Until then, bye, Mary.